Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Lesson 6, the angle addition postulate. Let's go ahead and get started. Let me share my screen. Okay, I am now in 1.3.8, classifying angles. These are notes you need to add to your notebook. Okay, hopefully you know what all of these angles are by now, but add them to your notebook. First type of angle is a 90-degree angle, exactly a right corner. Second type of angle is an obtuse angle, bigger than 90 degrees. Make sure you add these pictures. The pictures are very helpful for remembering these things. An acute angle is less than 90 degrees. Okay. Straight angle always makes exactly 180 degrees. Straight angle, straight line, 180 degrees. Last is a reflex angle. We're not going to talk about this one very much, but it's important to know this angle goes more than 180 degrees, but less than 360. Okay. So it's like if you have an obtuse angle, but you're going the other way around it. Okay. Know your types of angles. Classify them well. Next thing we're going to talk about is congruent angles. Congruent angles are two angles that have the same measure. The measure of an angle is the size of it. So if I called this angle A and this angle B, the measure of angle A would be 48 degrees. The measure of angle B would be 48 degrees. So these angles would be congruent. Angle A would be congruent to angle B, but their measures would be equal. So there's some notation that goes along with that. So if I am talking about the angles, these are things. Things are congruent. So angle A is congruent to angle B. But if I'm talking about measures, this is how you write the notation for the measures. Measure of angle A is equal to the measure of angle B. This just means 48 degrees equals 48 degrees. Where this one says angle A is the same as angle B. So be careful. Things are congruent, numbers are equal. Never, ever, 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 ever say angle A is equal to angle B. Don't do that. Okay. Some other important pieces of information, it says that they don't have to point in the same direction. So these two are congruent even though they're not pointing in the same direction. And they don't have to have the same length rays. So you can clearly tell that these rays are longer than these rays, but these two angles are still congruent. Okay. Next thing we're going to talk about is the angle addition postulate. This looks a little complicated, but it's pretty simple to think about mentally. All it means is parts add to the whole. So if I'm looking at this picture here, all it means is that this angle plus this angle equals the big angle. That's it. Now this notation, hopefully you're picking up on the names at this point. A, B, D, sorry, I said it backwards. A, D, B is this angle. The measure, because we're adding numbers, the measure of BDC, BDC equals the measure of RQP. Well, that's not technically right. I need to change that. I'll change that by the time you get there. It should say equals the measure of ADC. Okay. So forget RQP. That should be ABC. Or sorry, it should be ADC. Small angle plus small angle equals the big angle. Okay. Now, this video here actually walks you through some examples of math you would do with the segment addition postulate. Just like it says here, you don't need to watch all of the examples, but do the work with her for the first couple. Try and see if you can figure out these problems on your own. Do a problem before she does it. Use this to help you understand how the segment or the angle addition postulate works and how you can use it. Okay, so pause this video, go watch that one. All right, welcome back. That stuff gets a little complicated, but don't worry about it. We're going to figure it out. We're going to get through this together. Okay. Again, hopefully you watched enough examples to get what you needed. Okay. This last video starts at the beginning and gives you a summary of all the things that we talked about so far in the last 2 lessons. So starts with naming angles, talks about types of angles, talks about using the protractor to measure angles, and the segment addition postulate. It's a good summary video to walk you through everything one more time. So pause this video and go watch that one. Welcome back. So that teacher is actually a good friend of mine. She works at Ralston Valley High School. Her name is Miss Brikida. But she's a really good geometry teacher. So anything from that video that you feel like you need to add to your notebook, do. Okay. Now you're going to practice with angle bisectors. So if you click on this, this is going to be that other IXL work that I was telling you about. I'm recording this lesson the same day as the other one, so I'm still locked out. You only have 10 questions you're allowed to do for free. Okay, so be careful how you use them. But let's do this first question together, just so you have an idea of how angle bisectors work. It says an angle bisector is formed by 2 new angles. If the original angle, this big angle, was 98 degrees, what is the measure of each new angle? Angle bisector means 2, bi means 2, sections. Sected means sector, means sections. So 2 sections. An angle bisector cuts it in half. So if this whole big angle is 98 degrees, this is going to be half. This is going to be the other half. I'll let you do that math yourself. But practice here. Remember, you only get 10 questions. If you've already done the other activity, you only have however many you have left. So practice angle bisector here. Okay. Last piece for today is the concept check, the progress check. There's only 2 questions. Not too bad. Do the progress check on Schoology. Okay. Going back to Google Classroom, there are a few things you need to submit this week. So here's the lesson for lesson 5. You've already hopefully watched that. Submit your pool game picture here. Submit your measuring angles picture here. And do the progress check on Schoology. That's it for this week. See you in the next lesson.